Okay, get ready for a story that sounds, well, almost impossible. We're talking about three brothers who went from literally facing starvation in a tiny village to building one of India's biggest snack empires. This is the incredible story of Balaji Wafers.
I mean, just think about that for a second. How do you go from a village with no electricity, from a family that couldn't even afford a bicycle, to building a brand that takes on giants like PepsiCo? It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's absolutely true.
And here's what that success looks like in numbers. A staggering 6,000 crore rupees in annual revenue. That's a huge number, but to really get how mind-blowing that is, we've got to rewind the clock, all the way back to the beginning.
All right, let's go back. We're in the early 1970s. Picture a tiny farming village. Life here is simple, but man, is it tough. It's all about the seasons, all about the land. And this is the ground zero for everything that follows. I want you to really imagine this. Your whole life, your family's survival, it all depends on the rain. But then, the rain just stops. The crops wither and die. You try again, holding on to a little bit of hope. But the same thing happens. A terrible famine grips the land, and it feels like there's absolutely no way out.
And for the Virani family, this wasn't just a tough time. We're talking about real, grinding poverty. They were among the poorest people in the village. Forget cars. They didn't even have a bicycle. They walked everywhere. And that one thing they owned, their land, it was now useless, just dried up dirt.
So this is it, the moment everything changes. Their father, Popabai, has to make an impossible choice. He sells the last of their land, gives his three sons the money, and basically says, go and figure out how to survive. This wasn't a suggestion, you know? It was an order, fueled by pure desperation. So the brothers, Bikubai, Chandubhai, and Mejibai, they take that money and head to the city of Rajkot. And you can probably guess what happens next. It wasn't some overnight success story. Oh no. What they found instead was failure, one after another.
First up, they try selling farm equipment. Nope, they get scammed with fake goods. Then they open a little dairy shop. That runs out of money almost instantly. So now they're completely broke, totally defeated, and they've got to take any job they can get their hands on.
And what a change it was. Just think about it. They went from being proud sons of a farmer working their own land to canteen boys at a local cinema. Their total salary for all three of them combined was just 240 rupees a month. It got so bad that sometimes they had to sneak out of their rented room in the middle of the night because they couldn't even pay the rent. But this is where you see what they're really made of. They didn't just serve food. No way. They did everything. They put up posters, they checked tickets, they'd even repair the torn seats. They truly lived by this idea that work is worship, and you better believe people started to notice that kind of dedication. Okay, so all that hard work, it's about to pay off in a huge way. An opportunity was coming, one that would change everything. And the funny thing is, it was hiding in plain sight, disguised as a simple, annoying problem. So in 1976, their boss is so blown away by their work ethic that he just hands them the keys to the kingdom. Well, the canteen at least. He gives them the whole contract. This was their first big break, and they became legends for how fast they could serve people during those chaotic 5-minute movie intermissions.
And right here, in that little canteen, is where the billion-dollar idea was born. See, they had a problem. Potato wafers sold like crazy, but their supplier was just awful. The wafers would show up late, sometimes they were stale, just bad quality. Now, most people would just complain, right? Not them. They looked at the problem and asked a simple question. What if we just made them ourselves?
And that's lesson number 2 from these guys. When a problem hits, don't worry, think. Don't waste energy on panic, just think. And that simple shift in mindset led them to an absolutely brilliant idea. So they did it. In 1982, they took the plunge. They started frying up their own potato wafers, literally in the courtyard of their tiny house. I mean, talk about humble beginnings. This was the very start of what would become a massive empire. And things moved fast, like really fast. In just 2 years, they go from frying wafers in their backyard to creating an official brand. And by 1989, they're taking out a huge 50 lakh loan to build what was then the biggest potato wafer factory in all of Gujarat. It's just incredible. And here's a cool little piece of trivia for you. Ever wonder where the name Balaji comes from? Well, it's a throwback to their roots. There was a small temple to Hanuman right there inside the cinema where it all started. A perfect tribute, right?
So what's with the number 10? That's how far Chandubhai got in school. 10th grade. That's it. But his real education happened on the factory floor. He became totally obsessed with the work. When a machine broke down, he didn't call for help. He got in there, figured it out, and taught himself how to fix it. He literally became the factory's unofficial engineer.
You see, it's that kind of obsession, that hands-on, all-fix-it-myself attitude that turned their small business into the giant it is today. And really, their whole philosophy, their secret sauce, can be boiled down to 5 simple lessons.
But first, just to give you a sense of scale, today Balaji Wafers isn't just a big company, it's a powerhouse. We're talking the 3rd largest snack brand in all of India. They absolutely dominate the market in Western India. And they're exporting their snacks all over the world, to the UAE, the US, Australia, you name it.
So, how do they pull it off? It all comes back to these 5 life lessons. Seriously, these principles were behind every single move they made. From work is worship right back in the canteen days to having the guts to take the leap and build that first factory. It's all right here.
But if you ask me, the most crucial lesson is this last one. Chandubhai always said, it's not about sales, it's about service. It was never just about pushing a product. It was about serving their customers with great snacks at a fair price. And, just as importantly, serving their own team by treating every single employee like family.
And that really leaves us with one big takeaway, doesn't it? The Virani brothers didn't have some fancy MBA or a detailed 10-year plan. All they had was a problem right in front of them, bad potato chips and the drive to fix it. So it kind of makes you look around and wonder, what's that annoying little problem in your world that's secretly a massive opportunity just waiting to be grabbed?